Hello everybody, welcome to Weighted to Win. This is the Sunday edition. We're doing this Friday morning, just by the way, but those of you that are watching Sunday, I hope it's been a good weekend for you. Our social media element, we've got Weighted to Win, at Weighted to Win's our handle on Twitter. That's already been updated for you in terms of what the boys like, as well as we've got a YouTube that you guys can watch. We're on 4Racing TV, and we've got a WhatsApp group. There's the number on the WhatsApp number. Just send your name and email address. Be part of the Weighted to Win family. We'd love to have you and engage with you. You know, things do change time to time, and the presenters or tipsters like to make a change every now and then, and that information with this being pre-recorded sometimes can't be given to you. So, but a special show. Why? Because Warren Lanfurner is with me in the studio here in the Kyalami studio. It's lovely to have one of the KwaZulu-Natal boys with us. Lovely to have you, Mr. Lanfurner.
Thank you, Clive.
Congratulations on being here.
Lovely to be here. A bit of a bumpy ride into town.
I believe
a bit
so.
of bad weather around, but it seems to be clearing up.
The beautiful Mrs. Candice, who's with us in the studio here watching, she's still recovering. She's on her third cup of coffee now from that from that turbulent aeroplane trip. But
lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and just absolutely fantastic. And to all your team, thanks very much.
And to you guys, keep up the good work. I mean, we do our very best to work together, ultimately to try and find the winners at the end of the day. The source of MJ Odendaal I want to talk to you about the first, if I can, Warren. Got Peter Shorthead. Stiff. There is, I heard a conversation or two about perhaps the horse should have won, hands being put down. I haven't spoken to Marco about it, but it's running a week later, and that I think could be a concern for some. Is it a concern for you?
It is a little concern, Clyde. He's a lightly raced son of Ideal World who's improving with racing. Last time it was the mile. This time it's 1400. But MJ's stable's turned the corner, and turning the corner, continues to turn. A good trainer, a good horseman. So for me, if that run hasn't come too quick, then he is the horse to beat. I've got my outsider in the race is number 2, Mr. Lincoln, for the Garth Puller stable for Serena Mudley. But yeah, Paris Rain, I'm in his camp. The only concern, as you've alluded to, is if that run hasn't come too early.
I'll stiff with you with Paris Rain. That not for anything. I mean, the one day we back Lafferty, he got beat. Madison, what was it called? Madison
Blues.
How stiff was that? I mean, come on.
Absolutely unbelievable. If the horse had just travelled in the race,
you would have thought you got closer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Unlucky. All right, well, Darren Burrows is with me. Morning, Darren, and we've got Mr. Lanfurner with us. So tell us if you agree Paris Rain the right one.
Yes, lovely to have Warren Lanfurner on the show. Race 1, I like Paris Rain. If the run doesn't come too soon, he'll win, because I think he's pretty much the best horse in the race. I'm just concerned that he's backed up 7 days later, and the drop-in trip not ideal. So Paris Rain to beat a horse like Flaming Drum, Stuart Ferry's first runner as a trainer. Keegan DeMello in the saddle.
We wish Stuart Ferry everything of the best. Darren Burrows' bipod goes like this. Banker 5 in the first leg. That's Paris Rain. He's then bankering 5 in the second leg. He likes Beyond the Boundaries. Says that'll win. Well, just bipods anyway. And then he's bankering much later on in the second last leg of his bipod. He's bankering number 3 in as far as what he wants to do there. And that's a 28 Rand bipod. KwaZulu-Natal season starting to warm up now, and we look forward to a big one. The second race on the cards, a handicap at the 88 level, and of course it's run over 1,800 metres. Erica Verdenez has got 2 runners today at KwaZulu-Natal way. Here in particular, he's got Nordic Rebel, the grand old man. We'll see how he does, but he's got this horse obviously to beat Beyond the Boundary, and spoke to Darren Burrows when we tipped this the last time, and you were quite bullish by virtue of the fact that he was dropping in distance. Now I see he's going back over the 18, so I'm a little confused as to what we need to do here, Mr. Burrows.
Well, Clyde, I thought he would win a lot easier last time out, and he only got up a short head, but he gave me the impression with that long stride, he took time to get into full stride, and I just believe he is a horse looking for 1,800 metres now, after that, judging him on his last run. He has gone the course and distance before. He ran on very strongly behind Arctic Tune to beat 3 parts of a length. And he also ran over 2,000 meters in the Daily News, where he was just outclassed that day. So I'm hoping that he gets it right. I have made this my best bet on the card.
Okay, so it's interesting because we backed it last time because it was dropping in distance. You're now of the view that he's probably now looking for further after seeing that last start, Warren, where he seemed to go, thank goodness, it was a Sean Field. It was a Sean Field that got it home, for us on the line.
Yeah, it certainly was. And Sean knows this horse so well. He's ridden him twice for 2 wins. He's going to be going out of his way to try and keep that record intact. I agree with Darren. This horse over the 18 now, I'm big in his camp as well. I've got no doubt that he's going to be way better than a rating of 84 that he currently is on. He's an exciting horse. He's had only 11 starts, 3 wins. Lots to like about Beyond the Boundary. I did put 3 horses in the place accumulator, Etiquette, from the ever-consistent stable of Garth Puller, and then as well as Beyond the Boundary, and of course over the page Victory Twist, who could be a bit of a lurker in the race. Victory Twist needed the run last time. The stable were happy to report to us, to disseminate to the public. He needed the run, tightened up since then, and despite the draw of Victory Twist, he'll certainly get a blow in. But no doubt they have to beat Beyond the Boundary. Yeah, he's a smart horse in the making, I think.
Okay, we'll see how that all plays out. The question mark is this 18, but we'll see how that goes. We've got a place accumulator. We'll put Warren and Furness PA up, and he's going 1, 5, and 7, but he'd love to treble up, of course, by 2 and 3, by 4, 8, 9, by 1, 3, 7. He's then bankering the 1 later on in his PA, then 1 and 2, and 1 and 5, and that's a 216 Rand PA. Now, the way Darren Burrows sees it, he's obviously keen on the favourite, Beyond the Boundary, so he's bankering the 5. He's bankering the 2 just now, that horse called Rock Fall. Then he's going a whole lot of horses in the PA. Doesn't like that race 4 whatsoever, as you can see. There are lots of horses. By banker the 3, Time for Orchids, then 1 and 2. Then he's bankering number 2 in the second last leg of the PA. That's Cousin Casey. And right at the back is bankering number 5, who is Intrepid, priced up at around 5 to 1. Smallish cost, he's speeding 40. Pick 6 time now. We need to catch this pick 6 over 2,400 metres. Scratch the one that's not taking part here. Market-wise, they've got the source top of the boards, number 3, Rise, who's 5 to 2. This is for Carl Hewitson. And Keegan DeMello's taken the ride. Second choice, number 2, Rockfall. Stable very much in form, Warren and Verner. There's Paul Lafferty, 7 to 2, second favourite. And I see Carl's got the third favourite as well in terms of Lucretia. So he's got quite a strong hand here.
He certainly does. But just touching on Rockfall, I was with Paul Lafferty during the week. In fact, yesterday, Thursday, doing some interviews for the TV show over the weekend. And he was very, very upbeat about Rockfall's chances. And quite rightly so. He said desperately unlucky last time. Should have won, in his opinion. The stable, we don't need to say much more about them. Bang in form. John Finlayson's colours, winning all over the country. Neatly drawn. The young riders, full of confidence. And I went and had a look at that replay. It was certainly an unlucky race for Rockfall. He is the horse that they all have to beat, in my opinion. Huge respect for the mare Rise. Keegan DeMello sticks, which is a huge positive, and she is certainly a massive runner here. So for me, a bit of a boat race between the 2 and the 3, but pressed for a selection. 2, Rockfall.
Yeah, Schlinger's at 1.5. It takes off the back. So
correct.
That's going to be in its favour.
Absolutely.
And I see Ventador came from that last form line and won as well. So that does help. Mr. Burrows, what do you make of it?
I completely agree with Warren's selections. I think Rockfall, very unlucky last time out. He was flying at the finish. He sets the standard here. Rise, I thought the danger. She stays very well. She won't have a problem with the trip. I did circle numbers 2 and 3. In the pick 6, I did add numbers 4, 6, and 8, as well as Leopard Lady the 1, so we can double up with either 2 or 3 if they're tote favourites.
We've got some selections for you after hearing that. Warren does like Rockfall and Rise. It's those 2, and he's recommending we box them in the exact. It appears to be those 2, so that's from Warren's side. Darren Burrows has got a pick 6 worked out for us, and this is what it looks like. He's going horses by field, banker 3 later on in the third leg of the pick 6, so he's happy to bank a Time for Orchids. Then horses, then 2 and 7 later on. He's making it a match race. Cousin Casey Jimmy Donners, I think, is most. And then at the back, he's willing to risk with Intrepid. Banker that at the back. It's a 600 Rand per. We're at the KwaZulu-Natal Stakes. It's a listed event over 1,000 metres. The market for this event's got number 4, Flying the Star, at 28 to 10 favourite. I beg your pardon, let me go back. I'm sorry, I'm talking about race 4. This is a handicap at the 67 level. Forgive me. There are 10 of them that line up here, and the market has got Flying the Star number 4 at 28 to 10. Then you've got 9, this horse Victory Bell, who's at 9 to 2, second choice. And 8 In the Ether, Grant Maroon's there, and he's got this horse priced up, well, they've got it at 5 to 1 and 7 to 1 and better the others. I'm going to Darren first because it's an open race. Not easy, Darren, and give us some guidance, and I'll then tap into Warren.
Well, Clyde, the class in the race has to be Maquette. Now, in the past, she's achieved a rating of 90. She's down to a 70. Her best recent form was with blinkers on. They've refitted the blinkers. A length and a half Kalulo, half a length Ancient Epic. That's good enough to win, but she's not reliable anymore. So I've played wide. I've put horses like Flying the Star. In the Ether comes with a late run. Let's see how the gravel track suits her. Victory Bell's got to go into all your bets, but I definitely saw the value with Maquette.
Yeah, was it that horse Mescal that came out and won yesterday? Was it Mescal that came from Back in Business? There was that horse that won the last at the Val. Darren, it was, eh? That 9th race. Was it Mescal? Mr. Burrows, are you there?
Yes.
It was Mescal. Okay, so that form's not too bad, Warren, in the Ether. So, hard race, but maybe you got a shrewdie for us here, Mr. Lanferner.
It is hard, Clyde. 67 handicap. The average rating of the race is 62. It's not easy. I like Darren's comments on Maquette, although I'm losing patience with her because her last 2 starts, I've backed her, I've liked her, I've supported her.
Yes, and that's all stable, isn't it?
Absolutely, and she's let us down, to be quite frank with you. But the blinkers back on could certainly be the master stroke. It's a tough race. I'm expecting some improvement from Shona Kirsty Ives. Used to be with the Ivan van Wyk stable, now with Michael Roberts. Is returning from a bit of a rest, but lightly raced. Over the page, I agree with Darren. If In the Ether is suited to the circuit, well, then she's going to be a massive runner. But for me, the horse that I believe is the one to beat is Victory Bell. I'm still trying to get over her defeat last time. Of course, we stood to win all the candy when she ran last time.
And she only got beat to half a length.
Let's not go down there again. But Victory Bell, pressed for her first choice. Not a confident one in a 67 handicap. I'm in the camp of Victory Bell. Huge respect for Maquette, but her time's running thin with me.
Okay, well, it'll be a tough one. It's not easy. There are a number of in a race like this, particularly, you know, when you look at 67 type level horses, you're looking now at the E and F division. So anything possible. Here's what... there's a pot worked out for you, and this jackpot from Darren Burrows looks like this, so we'll put that up for you. He's going to go field. You can't really blame the guy. By banker 3 in the next leg of his jackpot. He's happy to bank a Time for Orchids. You've heard that already. By 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and what does appear to be a match race 2 and 7, and spending $100. KwaZulu-Natal Stakes listed over 1,000 metres. That's the question, 1,000 metres. Darren Burrows is onto something, but the distance is a factor again here. Horse called Time for Orchids, who is certainly well above average. And Mr. Burrows, distance-wise, you're not worried?
Distance-wise is a slight concern, but what gave me confidence, she won her debut over 1,100 metres, beating Flower Bomb. And her only other run up the straight was 4th in the Scepter Stakes behind Princess Keller, beaten under 2 lengths. Over 14, she ran 2nd in the Fillies Championship behind Ciao Bella. If the 1,000 doesn't catch her out, I think she'll come out fresh and just about win.
Okay, well, listen, well above average horse. For those of you who haven't been onto our Twitter page, please do so. At Waited to Win's our handle. There's our WhatsApp number that's on the screen as well. It's 0691643272. Just send your name, like Warren Lanferner, and email address, and then you get a WhatsApp back that gets sent back to you, and we communicate that way. It's lovely to be part of that. But Time for Orchids, the one to beat. 22 to 10 priced up. Warren, I'm a little concerned about it being the 5 furlong. You know, that what does worry me. But ability-wise, you saw that was what was it called? The Mace Roberts. See you again. What?
See it again.
See it again.
Yes,
That came out, didn't it, from there?
Absolutely.
Who may win the Hollywood Veg Derby in July this year? What do you think of that?
Well, Michael Roberts is no stranger to training winners at the highest level.
And a horse called Lord William came out of there as well. So, what do you make of it?
I believe that even if she's 3/4 ready, obviously it's a stepping stone into the season. She's coming off that 64-day rest. I believe even if she's 3/4 ready, her class should carry her through. What price would Princess Keller be in the race?
Sure.
Lightly raced, and the right team would be wanting to get off on the right foot with this filly for Mr. Sugalim. The one to beat, no doubt. But in saying that, horses like One Princess T, who's ultra consistent. I know that she hasn't been in the same class as Time for Orchids, but she's a game and consistent filly. She gets gate 1. She's got 51.5 on her back. Jason Gates knows her every move. She'll run well. Sabatini, number 2, is a horse that certainly could get into the action. And an interesting runner is Amarandi. Having a word with Wayne Badenhorst and the team from Sandy and Eugene Arundel that own this filly with the Hepburn Browns, they rate her. She's got some ability. She's going to have to step up to the plate. We know that. But keep an eye on her for trifectas and quartets. She absolutely thumped them last time. But after all is said and done, I agree with Darren. I'm not too concerned about the trip because I believe her class will carry her through. If she's going to go on into the season and really make her presence felt, she's going to have to win this even half ready or 3/4 ready.
There's a bit of a shrewdy in the race I like, Warren.
Talk to us.
Maybe you can help me. Called Peter Muscat, brought it all the way to Joburg, called Sachet Away, come to run in the Magnolia. And, in the company of where Alula Star won, from there came a horse called Miss Cool came out of there. Auntie Lizzie came out of there and won. A horse called Kiss Me Captain came out of there. Strong form line over this sort of distance, So, and Gavin Larena booked a ride. So if there's a shrewdy in the race, maybe worth considering if you're looking to go beyond Time for Orchids and maybe a bit wider.
And I did speak to him at Summerfeld during the week, and he's got Sasha Away and Bevy's Delight. Both horses run for him, are drawn a little awkwardly. He said they're coming into the race to give a good account of themselves, but may just need one run to tighten up and strengthen up going into the season. So certainly trifecta quartets, yes,
Chances,
more of a place chance than a winning one, but stranger things have happened.
Class-wise, they're probably going to back this horse Time for Orchids. Let's see what the story is. Here's what the players, we've got a second jackpot up for you guys in terms of what we want to do. Darren's going bank of the 3 by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 by 2 and 7. And then in the last leg of his jackpot, the last race today, he says, let's go with Alison Wright's Intrepid. Welcome. Good to have you back with us. We're here at KwaZulu-Natal. This is the help me out. What is it, Warren? The
Umzukulu Stakes.
Umzukulu. What does that mean? Do you know what it means, Warren?
It means it's a grade 3 race.
I love Warren. 1,400 meters. Okay. What are we doing in markets-wise? I'm going to Darren Burrows first. Let me give you an idea as to what the boys have priced up here. Canadian Summer tops the boards at 16 to 10 to win this. The second choice in the market is Amina, number 5, at 22 to 10, and number 2 Miss Cool 33 to 10. No slouches. They've got ability, these horses. And Mr. Burrows, talk to me. What we're doing?
Well, Clyde, Canadian Summer's all class. Have a look at her record. 4 wins and 3 seconds from 7 starts, including that big race on Gold Cup Day. Last time out, I thought a courageous win against older horses. I think coming out fresh, she runs well fresh. I think she's definitely the horse to beat, even though she carries the 60 kilos. Dangers, Miss Cool, very good filly over 1,400 meters. We saw her 3 runs back win that feature, beating Kinky Boots, not disgraced in the fillies, guineas, and last time out, not disgraced behind a Lula's Star. Other dangers, Amina. Now, her first run since July Day when winning the Golden Slipper. I did speak to some of the connections. They say she's doing very well, might need the run, but they're expecting a positive effort.
Could be anything, Amina. She just won the gold. She won the Golden Slipper And that, of course, what was her last start was quite a long time ago, but we don't know if she'll be ready or not. Let me talk to Warren Landfurner about this horse, if I may. Shantastic. What do you make of a horse like Shantastic?
Before we talk about Shantastic, Darren mentioned Miss Cool beat Kinky Boots. Named sounds like a horse that you would have named, Kinky Boots.
I probably, somebody related to me is likely to have named it. Correct.
Back to Shantastic. This is a smart filly. Now, you might say, are you mad? It's rated 90 and lightly raced, and what has she done? But the manner in which she's done it, when she's won, she's come from off the pace, been given beautifully confident rides from Keegan de Mello. She's only got 54 in the race. Keep an eye on her for the season. Dean Kadame brought 2 truckloads into the province of horses for the season, and this filly looked outstanding. She is talented. She will run well. Whether she can beat Canadian Summer, probably not at this stage of the game. I don't think she can. I agree again with Darren. Not much arguing today between us.
Yes.
But Canadian Summer sets the standard, no doubt. And as I said in the previous race, with regards to Time for Orchids, even if she was in an 80% ready, class should put her through and she should win. Same scenario for Canadian Summer. Horses can win prep runs.
Sure.
A lot of people say, well, it's a prep run, they can't win. They can win their prep runs.
100%.
And Canadian Summer from gate 1 with that form, and having a word with Preggy Siddisundram, who obviously owns this filly.
Yes.
They upbeat of a huge performance. It is a prep run into the season. If she had to run second or third, they wouldn't be looking to throw the towel in. But she's a massive runner. Sets the standard, no doubt. But to answer your question about Shantastic, don't leave her out. She's a lovely filly in the making.
You know, when I talk to Daryl Marie about these things, it gets the needle to me when I bring up form lines. And he says, stop focusing on the form lines too much. And what worries me about Canadian Summer is not a winner from the form line, not a single winner has come from the Flamboyant. But what does impress me is the Shantastic form line. 3 runners, 3 winners. They called not that they're in this class perhaps, but What Estate came out and won, Hunting Trip came out and won, and Miss Greenlight came out and won. 3 runners, 3 winners. So I gave that a chance. And one more I want to ask you about, if you don't mind, is Paul Matchett's horse, Give Me a Light, who last time, of course, was participating in the Phillies Classic, and that's where Feather Boa, Bless My Stars, all those kind of horses. And prior to that, Paul Matchett's horse won it was a handicap or whatever the case may be. He had a horse like Ipso Factor behind it who came and won. So I wonder if Paul Matchett hasn't got something up his sleeve here.
Lightly raced Give Me the Green Light filly, who certainly wasn't disgraced in her last run, as you say, that was behind Bless My Stars. I know 7 of 11, but 8 lengths. But in that class, if I was owner of this filly, I would be very thrilled with that performance. So absolutely, there's scope for this horse to build on that last run. 54 kilograms, Rachel Venica riding at the top of her game. Paul Matchett, no mug. He knows how to get them to win races at group level. Yeah, absolutely, Clyde. Certainly could make her presence felt.
All right, well, let's hope that the form line proves us wrong and that Canadian Summer does prove its class here. Darren Burrows has put a swinger together for us in this event, and he says it's between Canadian Summer and Candice Dawson's Miss Cool. Wow, what a lovely curtain opener to the KwaZulu-Natal season, this Group 3, the Bali Turk. I want to talk to Warren Landfurner. He's here, a special guest that's come to join us, and interesting horses in here with particular reference to the likes of Cousin Casey. And listen, Erica Verdeniz's Jimmy Don, I think this is the best. Eric's had 1 or 2 very good horses, but this may well be one of his best. And I had a quiet chat with him in the parade ring the other day, Warren, and I said to him, this is your Durban July horse. It's got to be a Durban July horse. And how you plan it and how you take Jimmy Don there, no, there's a lot of work that goes into that. But I think he may be good enough to compete in a race of that nature.
Couldn't agree with you more. He's a smart-looking individual. He is by path fork. He runs from off the pace, and when he turns on the jets, my oh my, he turns on the jets. He gets Gavin Larena. Gavin Larena and Erico have ridden, been a formidable partnership for many years. Lots to like about Jimmy Don. My only concern, Erico Verdenez, top quality horseman, top quality trainer. His stable's going through a bit of a lull at the moment by his high standards. When we were at Corey's funeral, I had a long chat to Erico, and he said, there were a couple of runs that he was a little bit scratching his head, but a top trainer, top horseman. This is a good horse in the making. They've already rated him 116. Huge runner, Jimmy Don. Cousin Casey, no doubt. Cousin Casey and Jimmy Don, for me, set the standard. Kit Shakel, number 1. is rated by the stable. I know it's been 252 days since his last one, but his efforts in Cape Town were encouraging. He's a nice horse in the making. Strawberry Bear from the Mike Miller stable, going for 3 in a row. They rate him. He's a gorgeous grey. He has got gears. He can run. His last win was impressive. I know in a race where the average rating was, excuse me, an 85, but they believe he's on the up. They've got high hopes for him. So a lovely race, as you said, an absolutely cracking race to get.
So to summarise, what would be your top two, was?
Summerside, Cousin Casey and Jimmy Don, and the horses I've
Those
touched
two.
on would certainly be ones to throw into trifectas and quartets.
Sure. Cousin Casey, interestingly enough, will be testing the Met form now because he'll be the first, I think, of the top 4 or 5 that comes from there to run from the Met. Mr. Burrows, what are you making of it?
Clyde, I made it between numbers 2 and 7, the top 2 in the market. Now, Cousin Casey, he runs well fresh. The 1400's not going to be a problem because he's got a terrific turn of foot from off the pace. And Grant van Niekerk usually gives a horse a patient ride. So Cousin Casey's going to be slicing through the field. And Jimmy Don, this horse can really turn it on. And he does receive 5.5 kilos, which makes him best weighted. So 2 to beat 7, but no surprise to see 7 beat 2.
Well, if you're watching this on Sunday, you'll know by now if Anfield's Rocket came out to win the horse Chestnut where Jimmy Don was in there, remember? And, of course, Cousin Casey loves Grable's 1400. Darren Burrows and Warren Lenfurner both agree it's the two of them, 2 and 7. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the last here on the card. And Intrepid is Mr. Burrows' horse that he's bankered. He's shouting this home in the Pixies. Give us good reason as to why we should back this.
Well, Clyde, firstly, this horse achieved a 102 in the past. 4 lengths Isi Vungu Vungu, 1 length Safe Return. All 3 of his wins have come over the minimum trip of 1,000 meters. Last time out, he actually jumped on terms, and he just couldn't stay on the final 100 over the 1,200. The drop back to 1,000. If he jumps, I think he'll win, and I couldn't believe the price of 11 to 2.
You took the 11 to 2. It's now 5 to 1. I know, Mr. Burrows. They bet 5 to 1 the field here, Warren. So I'm not sure how have you analysed it. Are you on the same page?
Absolutely. The rating drop, I think, is what the stable have been waiting for. They've gone and taken a further 1.5 kilograms off the back using the services of Sipasihle Schlengwa. And he looks ready now. He looks cherry ripe to score his next career victory. So, as I said earlier on, not much arguing between the 3 of us today. I think it's certainly Intrepid, the one they all have to beat. But of course, it's never a one-horse race. There are others to include for trifectas and quartets. But as far as the win goes, good case made by Darren for Intrepid. And I think he's going to be a little tough to beat come Sunday afternoon.
If there was a Shruti that you liked to, is there a 10, 20 to 1, I don't know, trifecta quartet horse that you might, that you've seen before, that you've been waiting to run? Is there anything in this particular race? If not, doesn't matter. But is there something that you might consider, like an exactor or a swinger or?
Clyde, I'm not sure what price Stanley Park is as we speak.
Stanley
but,
Park, I'll
after
tell you
coming
now,
into that traumatic
10 to 1.
flat 10 to 1, well, then Stanley Park, because his last one was good behind Renaissance Man. He really ran on well when the race was over.
Right.
It's 1,000 meters again. A little bit of an awkward draw. Nicholas Patel now knows him. For quartets, these are the kind of horses you want them to arrive for quartets to help make them pay. So at around 10 to 1, you say Stanley Park, but Intrepid for me.
And you're entering those Hollywood Bets competitions. I need Devon F has got all the presenters and commentators and everybody together now to enter, which is fantastic, a lovely initiative. And
absolutely fantastic.
I'm not sure I'll run in the top 15, to be quite honest.
Well.
So I don't think I'm in the race. And against you boys, you, Daryl Marie,
No, don't be
and
silly.
Darren, but I've got no chance.
I'm under a hard
I'm
ride
the
at the
host.
back of the field. You're
We
the
found
host.
Stormy Winter, and that's why we got donuts. But
Donuts.
that comes once a year. It doesn't
And of
help
course,
us.
Devon in Cape Town, he got.
And Devon Pretoria's got all the money.
Got the Lotsky.
At the age of 21, he's got 250. He can go buy a home on the sea. Now, that's a nice deposit. There's an answer for you, boy. Well done. But this is our last race on the day. It's lovely having you. Thanks, Mr. Lenfurner, for coming in too.
Clyde,
and look forward to seeing you in
thanks
Durban.
so much. Absolutely. Yes, when you're in Durban, you'll please come onto our podcast and onto our various shows as
Absolutely.
well.
There's a lot I need to tell you about on that podcast. There's a
Okay.
lot
That'll
I
be
need to
fantastic.
tell you, which
Okay.
will come.
Good.
It's
good.
coming
Yeah.
without any shadow of doubt.
And of course,
Yep.
lovely to talk to Darren as well and to have do a
you.
show with you, Darren. Thank you as well. Fantastic. fantastic.
And thanks again, of course, to our guys at the back, Ricky, Dylan, Rirash, all who make the show work here. And Candice Lanfurnace here too. She's been taking photos. Look out social media. Watch the three of us or the four of us, all those pictures on Weighted to Win. Spread it around the world. God help us. Here we go. Let's have a look. This is what we're doing in the last. Intrepid from Darren Burrows.